Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be setting up crop automation and also finishing up chapter 2. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we are setting pretty much where we left off last episode, and we have a lot of work ahead of us today, and I'm not joking. We need to finish this up. I went ahead and made the Energon, or Energeon, dust, and that got us some crystals and also some repairing paste for completing that. And according to this, we're going to be using that a lot here soon. And we sort of need to get a farm sort of set up for this stuff, because that's going to be what we actually use to produce more and more of these seeds. And you can actually create more seeds the more dust you get, which is really good because we're definitely going to be using that. So let's go ahead and make the two machines that are going to need the heat that our new arrow heater is going to pump out. We should have everything. I went ahead and made all the stuff that's going to be required for it. Let's go ahead and pull this up. We should be able to save these two machines. There we go. I don't think we have glowstone just yet, but we should be able to get that very soon. Alright, so we have this right here. This is one of the bad boys we need to make, which is the Primordial reactor. Right. So I'm assuming this thing is going to have to go here. Primordial reactor has a thing that's going to create primordium, and we have a little list over here that is showing that we can put items in, and it's going to give us primordium. Right? So let's put some of this in here. That's going to start producing some heat and enough to fill that up. And according to everybody here on the Discord, if we mix and match 9 different seeds, and I think it could be any seeds, to be honest, or 9 different like materials, we can actually get the most efficiency out of this thing. I want to see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I don't know what else we have. We have wheat, 7. We really don't have that much else. Pumpkins, I don't know. I think this will work for right now, at least. So we can throw all these items in. I think we're missing a few things. Let's see. Carrots, potatoes. That's another thing we can throw in there. And this is almost up to temperature. And there should be something else. I was going to say maybe cactus can go in there. Can watermelon go in there? Actually, we can probably convert these into melon seeds. There we go. And we throw some melon seeds in there. Right. So, these should be able to be turned, all of this stuff should be able to be turned into primordium. And now that this is set up, its output temperature has to reach a certain temperature, I believe. And I think all of this can be turned into that. At least I think so. It looks like it. The temperature just dropped. Oh, I think that's because we don't have this in there. And this is supposed to generate. It says right on there. Read your Prodigy Tech guidebook for more information. And then right here from the Primordial Ooze, everything emerges. Alright, so yeah, something like that. It should be all about that inside here. I think it should be probably more advanced machines, right? We have ore refinery right here. Here's the automatic crystal clusters. Here we go. Primordial. So 9 different items at once will allow it to require roughly 8 times less items and 72 times less time than with a single type of item. So yeah, if we have all these different items, we should get better results. Is wheat. Okay. For some reason, maybe this is not getting up to temperature properly. I'm kind of curious about this. because it should work. Okay, so there's a machine that turns plant matter. Okay, it requires heat that only the aero heater can provide. And it says it will need a lot of infrastructure to work at an acceptable speeds. Item can be inserted and extracted from all sides except the top or bottom. It says it needs infrastructure. Well, I mean, I know it needed... There it goes. Ah, now it's starting to work. So it has to hit 250 degrees Celsius. Ah, now it's starting to function. So yeah, it should consume all of this and give us, you know, a few of them. Roughly. And yeah, we're going to need a lot of seeds. So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on producing a lot more vegetation, a lot more seeds. We're going to make a big normie farm seed. Or normie farm. Not normie farm seed. But we're going to need to make 8 primordium. And then this guy right here, to get glowstone, that's got to be something that's along the lines here. Glowstone ore. Ah, it's something. It's a crushing recipe. So we have imprisoned light. Drops from charged light collectors. Okay. So we have this. And light collector from Hearthwell. Okay. This is going to require that, what is this? The brackish stone. Brackish stone is cobblestone with shards of the sacred land. Alright. So yeah, we have a little bit to do. We still have this page to do. So let's go ahead and grab that. Grab some cobblestone. And by the way, diamond showing up in here is just a visual bug for some reason. It keeps showing up. Don't know why. So that just gets smelted, of course. And we're good to go. So now that we have our light collector, apparently, according to the book, we can just place this anywhere. And given that there's light, it should collect light for us. Now, I don't know how long it takes, but apparently once it is charged, it's supposed to give us some of the, it says becoming charged and emitting light. So we won't really know until it's emitting light, I guess. Right? So right now it's dark. I actually don't know how that functions with, I mean, I guess there's a sun. Kind of considered a sun. But once it's charged, it should emit light around it. And then when we break it, we will be able to get that good stuff. So, with us waiting for that, we're kind of at an impasse here. I want to talk a little bit about blast seeds. So, right here we have some quartz. And you remember, making quartz was not the easiest thing to do. And we were working on that before. So what you can do is you can take this, add a shard of the Born Might, craft that, and actually it's not a shard of the Born Light, it is one of the green ones, which is the Pure Giver. If you take that, it's going to make a blast seed. What we're going to do is take this blast seed, and I made a blast chamber. I just place it in here, and what's going to happen is it's going to build up pressure, and eventually, after building up some pressure, it's going to pop. And this is the best way to get quartz, because this is going to produce a ton of quartz. So while that we're waiting on that, we'll probably hear it. I'm going to go ahead and break down some of these pillars, because this is where we're going to... Oh, there it went. This is where we're going to place our farm. You can see right here, look at all the quartz that is just generated. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good method actually for getting building materials, since quartz is a really, really cool building material. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and break some of this stuff down. We're going to actually make a farm over here, and a farm over here, and a farm over here, and over here. We're going to have several farms going on. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some golems that we're going to do over here, and gravity blocks, and we're going to automate this bad boy. So, we need to make some crops. And I think I'm going to go with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... I think we can do regular farms. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to go one block over, I think. And then we'll be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so right here needs to be a water block. And then I need to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or actually, kind of line it up right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we know where it's at. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure we're lined up. And there we go. Alright, so we should be able to make 2 identical farms. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. And then we're going to talk about the straw golems and figure out how exactly we are going to do that. So now that I have the crops ready to go, we can go ahead and make some golems. So right here it talks a little bit about how to make golems. And right now we can make a spawn straw golem, like a spawn egg. I don't know if that's just to get an item in the world so that can complete the quest, which I assume that's probably what it's about. But it's the same way. You take a pumpkin, and right now we're making a spawn egg, but you can just spawn them directly in. And what they're going to do is they're going to harvest these crops. So if we place them down, little straw fella, and he is going to wander around, right? What we probably want to do is set up a fence perimeter to sort of keep him in place around all of these crops. And that's what we're going to have to work on, is getting a fence line with cobblestone walls, preferably, because it's just super cheap and easy for us to make. And we'll place a cobblestone wall all the way around. But that is just one part of this little fella, because as you can see right here, I'm gonna make multiples of them, just to kind of speed things up. We're gonna need to sort of automate this, because these guys are not the greatest things in the world, right? For automation. What they're going to do is they are going to break the crop once it's grown, and that's it, right? You're going to break the crop once it's grown. You're going to see he should target a grown crop, a fully grown crop, once we have one. And he'll go to break it, hopefully. We'll see. We'll find out. Some of them are fully grown. I don't know. Let's kind of push him. See if we can't get him over into a crop area. Maybe he'll target something. But they also have very, very low health as well. So yeah, very low health. There we go. This guy's wandering around. Sees a fully grown crop eventually. And will hopefully break it. Or not. You know, or not. Anyways, there he goes. So he breaks it. You see, and it just goes on the ground. We want to make sure we change that. So that's where the gravity block comes in handy. Let's go ahead and complete that. We get another one, and we get a gravity block, and we get a tray. So the gravity block is kind of interesting. You can break these down. They're going to work pretty much the same. But the gravity block is going to draw all the items to it. Much like that. Very interesting on how that works. What I want, though, is I want to get a hopper underneath this water source. And now I'm using a design that Monkeybug on our subserver was using. So I went and hung out with him and talked a little bit about how this setup works. And he said this actually works really good. So as you see, they go right into the water. But if we put a hopper underneath here, we can just have a chest that's like right here that is picking up all the items. So I think that would be one of the best things we can do. Of course, this guy's just making an awful mess. But let's go ahead and get that set up. So we can use regular vanilla hoppers. I think those are going to be the cheapest on us. And we are going to need to make some wooden chests. So, I believe, hopefully there's a recipe for that. Maybe not. Probably have to make old-fashioned planks, which is completely understandable. I have a couple still on me. There we go. And we're going to turn these into hoppers. Actually, I think the hoppers are much different. Yeah, hoppers are stone with any kind of chests. I don't know if the cobblestone chest works. I have not tried those. I mean, we can always try them. We have a whole inventory full of all kinds of goodies. Alright, so I'll go ahead and try this chest and see if that works. If this works, that'd be really great. And it's surrounded by just stone, I believe. Ah, this chest does work. So that's perfect. So then we can do this. And just make a bunch of these chests. And surround this. Like that. And we'll get 4 hoppers. That is going to be enough for what we're doing. And I'm going to go ahead and turn these into speed hoppers. To do that, you just surround it with iron. And we'll get 4 speedy hoppers. Perfect. We can go ahead and dump all this stuff. So the speedy hoppers, they're just, you know, they're normal hoppers, but they're going to work a little bit faster. And we need to insert that stuff into chests. And to do that, we might need to go down a layer, because right now, you can see we do have water built up here. We're going to need to place this going this direction, and also probably need to block this off. So, because once you go down below, well, you get into lava. So, let's go ahead and get our speedy hopper. We can place that going directly there. And then right here, we can place a chest for right now. Later on, we can probably do more hoppers. And that's going to be temporary. And I'll probably put a trap door right here, so that way we can see everything going. But we should be able to place the water back. Get our dirt. Well, actually, there'll be a trap door there, so I'm not too concerned about that. But everything should flow to this. Much like that. Be picked up by the hopper. Of course, it's going to flow into this until we get a trap door. Let's go ahead and make that. We have trap doors. Good old wooden trap doors. Oh, yeah. If we have enough wood. Perfect. So yeah, we have some wooden trapdoors. We can place those down, and that should prevent the water from causing issues. And there we go. So you can see, just like that, all the items should be collected, go into this, feed into the chest down below, and we're good to go. So this is a very simple setup for this. And then, of course, up top, we can put some kind of light if we need. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to the rest of them. And that's sort of a crop automated. We are going to need bigger chests, though. So I have all the fences nice and ready to go. And I want to talk a little bit about what I had to change. I did change a little bit of this. I did place the trapdoor down because the items are actually getting stuck. And the reason I added the cobblestone wall here is to prevent this little fella from getting stuck down there. Eventually we're going to change out this chest and of course provide a different type of chest, in which I do have some plans for later on down the road. But we need to talk a little bit more about finishing up chapter 2. We really only have a couple things. So right here we have a chest builder. This actually allows us to make some pretty large chests if we wanted to. Also, I went ahead and made the wooden crate quest, which gets into the better storage in drawers mod, which if you played Sky Factory 4, you're probably going to be very familiar with this mod, as it was definitely in there. Also, this is the last part. We're going to be going ahead and getting with the atomic reshaper and working on things like that. But right here, we have that Energion crystal. We need to go ahead and actually harvest this. So in the book, it tells us to use a crystal cutter. To do that, we right-click on this, and that is going to give us more seeds. Now, the seeds can be transformed with the rotary grinder into the dust. But keep in mind, we already have quite a bit of this already, and what we're going to need a lot of is the actual seeds. And you can see right here, we can actually chop this down until it gets all the way down to 40, 20, and then it goes down into the lowest, which is growth 0. And like this one's at 60, we can keep harvesting these until we get them all the way down. We're probably going to want a bunch of these, so I'm going to continue to place them in the same sort of pattern that I've been working with over here, and then I'm also going to place them on the other side. And eventually we're going to get automation set up for these things, but that's where chapter 3 is going to come in handy. And it's really going to push me into a mod that I'm really familiar with. Also, this is what the light collector looks like when it's fully done, and when you break it, it gives you the imprisoned light. So I've been collecting a little bit of that as we've been going. Yeah, and these things are actually doing their job. They're doing exactly what we want them to do. And you can see right here, the crystal cutter takes a lot of durability while we do this. That's where this repairing paste that we got earlier comes in handy. Literally handy. If we put this in our inventory, in our offhand, the item that we're holding will start to be repaired up to 500 damage points. So it's really good for repairing your crystal cutter. And that's exactly what we're using it for. So this guy, by the way, I also wanted to mention, I left a gap because this guy wants to go back and forth, because the way this guy works is it looks for a crop nearby, and it could potentially look over here and get stuck in this little area. So I gave him room to go back and forth, and that's the same for both sides. And that is going to help us a lot. So let's take a look at this. We need to take this stuff and put it in our inventory. There we go. And that's going to give us a little bit of wheat. And here's where this chapter is going to come to a conclusion. The atomic reshaper. That's going to give us an upgrade capacity for our 1K thing. This right here is going to require some glowstone and some redstone. So we have the redstone. We need to make the glowstone. It's going to require a warm core attained by right-clicking a heat block with flint and steel. And I believe I already have gotten rid of most of mine because I used it to create quartz. So yeah, we're going to need some terracotta. And I think we have a little bit of clay for that. There's our brick. I am going to need some terracotta, however. I think it's only like 2 blocks to make some terracotta. I don't know, I'll do 2 more. Just to be on the safe side. So we're going to need heat blocks, because that's just how these roll. Yeah, terracotta and one of the nether crystals. Pretty simple there. There's our terracotta. And that'll get us 4 of the heat blocks. And of course, we need to open our inventory. If you have chunks claimed, you want to make sure to unclaim them before doing this step. Otherwise, it just won't work. Right? So there we go. We're getting the heat blocks situated. Perfect. And then, of course, if you're on a server, make sure to reclaim and make sure you get everything set back up, because you don't want people griefing you. Alright, so now that we have that, we can place this and hopefully get ourselves some glowstone. So, to get glowstone, we are going to need, it looks like, a block of gold to initially get us started, and then we can use glowstone from there. Shard of the Shining Dawn. So a yellow shard, and we're going to need a block of gold. Very fancy. Luckily it doesn't consume our block of gold, so it's not that big of a deal. But we're going to go ahead and do our core crafting. It's probably going to break it several times, but eventually it will work. And of course, we need to upgrade our stabilizer. We'll do that eventually. As of right now, it's not that big of a deal. Is it going to stay this time? Oh, that was very close. That was super close on that. Also, I think maybe the more you have surrounding this thing, the more likely it is to work. Come on, all we got to get is glowstone. There we go. Awesome. So that gets us some glowstone. And of course we break that. And there we go. Alright, I still need more glowstone, so yeah, we're going to have to do more. We'll knock that. There we go. Because we have to have enough for a full glowstone block. And then I think that is about it. We get that atomic reshaper. I think we have just about everything else ready to go for that. I have this. I have our carbon plates. Our ceramic, I don't exactly have enough of that, as I just used most of it. But that's okay. We can get more. As always. Man, that's really frustrating. Waiting for that to happen. There we go. Alright. So, sticks. A little bit of cobblestone. And I believe I remember this recipe. I hope I'm right. Alright, we'll take some clay. 4 clay. We need 16 iron. So we'll do 16 iron. We're going to need 5 gunpowder. And 4 sand. And I believe that is everything we need for this to work. A lever. And we get more ceramic. There we go. Alright. So, our ceramic is ready to go. I think we might be able to craft this thing. We're missing our glowstone. And then we're also missing our redstone block, which we have. Perfect. And there we go. Atomic reshaper. We have completed chapter 2. So we should be able to place this, I believe, directly above here. It says input temperature, so this one, I have to break it actually to probably see the full specs on this thing. So yeah, that's going to still require the 250 as well, which means it is going to require these crystals. As you see here, it's going to require us to use that. And this is where this stuff is going to come into play. In order for us to get into the next chapter, we're going to have stone. And this right here is how this is going to work. We take Primordium, which is built up from here. I think you get 10 for 1. I'm not actually sure. But this goes a long ways. From what I was told, 10 of the Primordium, I don't know if it's just 1 unit equals 1. I guess we'll find out when we start putting Primordium in here. So that's 100 Primordium units. Wow. So yeah, so that will be equal 10 ore when we put 64 stone in here. So when we use stone, this is going to produce 10 ore. That's going to generate here. But we are going to need heat to go into this bad boy. And for that, that's where we have our crystals. That's where our crystals are going to come in handy. There we go. There's one that has built up. These can go inside of our grinder here. Of course, we got to give this some fuel as well. Otherwise, this one won't work. So, there we go. That's going to grind that up as soon as we have enough heat. And that's going to provide us with a few crystals. Now, we are going to need a lot more crystals than what is currently here. So, we want to make sure to get those crystals going. Because right now, this is just, yeah. This is going to be very slow waiting for these guys to grow. And I don't think they're affected by our crop dusting at all. So, keep that in mind as well. And unless you don't want to keep using the ceramic to make new crystal cutters, make sure to use that repairing paste. And I don't think it's even that expensive to craft. Yeah, it's not very expensive at all to craft this stuff. So, it definitely helps with your repairing. Alright, so, now that that is done, that is going to move us into Chapter 3. And we're kind of at a impasse here. To fully get into Chapter 3, we're going to have to get dark gems. And this is going to unlock a lot of different stuff for us. And I see later on, we're going to get into Mineral, which is part of Integrated Dynamics, which is a beautiful mod that I can't wait to dive into and use for automation, because I've been using it a lot lately, and I absolutely love the mod. So, we're going to be diving into that, but first we got to get through a little bit of Evil Craft. And yeah, 3D glasses, we have some stuff to make. There's a whole bunch here in Chapter 3 that we're going to be getting into. And it looks like things are going to start getting a little bit more difficult as we move into a few more advanced mods. And I think it's probably going to require us to, I don't know, use up more of our areas here. Make sure we make good use of our space. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Making sure we have good use of our space, making sure we have enough crystals, making sure we get a better setup for Prodigy Tech, because right now our setup is not good at all. We're going to need to make more of these aero heaters, make sure we have machines set up There are things that we can use right now, but I think once we get, I think we'll be better off whenever we get mineral and stuff like that, so that way we can make some integrated dynamics pipes and tunnels, because those are going to be really easy for automating these things. So, I don't think this is enough to heat this up. I don't know, we can throw that in there to see. To heat this up to full temperature, I just don't think that that's going to be enough. Go ahead and see, do we have any more grown? I mean, that's all I see there. Looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of AFK timing. That's what it's looking like to me. Well, we managed to get at least one ore out of this, and you can see right here it did consume 10. Now, when we get back on the next episode, we are really going to be pushing towards going through the stage 3. We're really going to be pushing towards chapter 3, and there's a lot of mods in here that I absolutely love, so I can't wait to be doing that. Until then, I'm going to be expanding my crystals. Yeah, we have a lot of crystals to be produced, and then we're also going to get into some more Prodigy tech, like I said, next time we hop in here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode, and as always, thanks for watching.